All right, great to see you guys. Yeah, I started a little tiny bit early. I might as well. Awesome to see you, Charles Latora, Harro, Bosma, Telemachus, William Arends. Hello from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. Great to see you guys. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. Like I said last week, just because of the Remembrance Day, it was a little too close to doing some other stuff. I just also felt a bit odd about doing a live stream before 11 o'clock. I guess afterwards, I guess it wouldn't have been such a big deal. I'll wait just a little tiny bit more before going off to the History Heroes trivia thing. But I do want to mention one thing that, which I think it was when I was talking to Meandering Mike a couple of weeks ago, and just trying to always like better the live streams or trying to figure out ways of getting the live streams to be more enjoyable for you guys. And it was a neat thing the way he mentioned it was trying to maybe look at it in the sense of we're like it's another session of playing D&D, like we're all getting together. I just so happen to be the game ref or whatever. And I thought that was a kind of a nice way of looking at it. Also, in the way I've also tried to approach, I think the live stream sometimes is not to. I want to have it more of a sandbox approach, or give you guys some options for topics to talk about, and then we can go from there rather than. And it's been working, I think, in the past as well. I mean, there's been a few times people have brought up things, and it's like, okay, I'll go off to a little hunt and try to see if I can find out more about the topic. And so, it's like even for example, with the Harro Bosma. You mentioning about trenches and that you were saying that you had read that German trenches were more robust and so on and so forth than the British trenches or the Allied trenches, and we started talking into that. But I was like, hey, let's continue on with that type of stuff. Okay, you know what? We're going to start. I will start off with the first clue for the History Heroes trivia. Please let me know if everything seems okay, or if there's something wonky. This is the first week I'm using the new computer, and I'm still hobbling about. I still have to find some old files and whatnot. Also, the only other thing that could be slightly disorienting for me is my right ear is completely plugged up with earwax. I can't hear a goddamn thing out of here. So it's really, it's odd. I mean, I guess I didn't notice it much when I was just not talking or whatever, but it's somewhat disorienting. Okay, so I'm going to pop in the first clue. And the other thing was that before I pop in the clue, and I'll just say, well, two things is one, please let me know what you're up to. I'd obviously like to know what you're up to. And secondly, yet again, which I think is what I'm trying to allude to, is it's all our live stream. I mean, it's, you know what I mean? So please look at it that way. I'm always trying to engage with you guys. Otherwise, I mean, I could just put on a pre-recorded whatever and let it go for an hour. I don't want that. So, all right. So here's the first one. Here's the first comment. And Harro Bosman, share book titles. You're darn right. It's been awesome. Yeah, this thing has just been a fantastic resource for me. There's no two ways about it. Okay, so there's your first one. The first one is, I was nicknamed Mad Jack for my fearless courage at the front. Who or what? Well, who am I? And I'll put it in the comments too. All right. Yeah, I'm going to be curious to see if anybody snags this. Well, I think once you see a couple of the other ones, you're going to go, okay, I know what that is, kind of thing. All right. And there, I just put that in. Charles Latora says, I was just checking my figures. I painted last night, and I've got 2 AWOL figures, and now I'm wondering if my granddaughters came into the room while I was sleeping. You son of a bitch, Meandering Mike. He comes in out of nowhere, and then he nails Siegfried Sass. Son of a bitch. And I'm not kidding you. I was thinking in the back of my mind, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should start the History Heroes trivia a little bit early, because Meandering Mike's not on yet. And when I was, well, Harro Bosma, you're gonna get a point anyways. You need it. Meandering Mike's super poet. And that's the thing. When I flipped the card, there's only 5 left, by the way. when I grabbed the card for this week's trivia thing and I saw it and I went, oh, darn it. It was Meandering Mike that had been mentioning Wilfred Owen and all that stuff. And earlier on, and I was like, he's probably going to be the guy that nails it unless somebody can, get to the typing or hit the return key quicker. And when Meandering Mike wasn't on, I was like, well, maybe we'll start. It doesn't matter. Oh my God. So we'll go to the might as well show the pictures in a minute. But yeah, that was it. I don't know what oh yeah, sorry. I was reading Charles Latora's thing there. I've got 2 AWOL figures, and now I'm wondering if my granddaughters came into the room while I was sleeping. Interesting. I'm telling you, man, I can't wait to see Charles Latora in a few years' time. Her first painted figures and so on and so forth. I mean, you can obviously see you've got a gamer in the wings sitting right there. It's ridiculous. It's nuts. And I mean, if your arthritis gets ever super duper crazy later on, maybe she'll be making the moves for you. So there you go. I'm going to get rid of the banners, and then I'm going to go straight to the present the picture. Goodness gracious. Harro Bosma. Hi, Mike. I bought a very long engagement for my niece. I'll read it too. Yes. Is that the one I think I picked up for Harro Bosma? I just picked that up. Oh, maybe I should have mentioned that unless she's watching. Well, I didn't say anything, did I? So maybe no one will clue in. All right, so I'm going to share the screen. And Meandering Mike says, cool. Yes, we were just talking about this before you popped on, Meandering Mike, that Harro Bosma had mentioned that one of the neat things is that we're also sharing book titles and so on and so forth. And I completely agree. This has been such a great resource. And wait until you see another resource that I found. Oh my F. I was just like, you got to be joking. Anyways, here we go. We're going to present the screen. Share the screen, a window, and you better be there. Siegfried Sasson, I hope that's how you say it. You guys can see that. I'll bump it up a little bit so we can read the thing and then just go across. So please let me know if you can. I don't think I'm screwing myself over with the little pictures thing there. Eric Battle Ready, just finished Starship Troopers. Great to see you. Eric Battle Ready, what do you mean by just finished Starship Troopers? Do you mean you just finished watching the movie or reading the book? Painting, whatnot. I'd love to know because it's one of my favorite books. And the movie didn't bother me. I know a lot of people were like really upset by the movie. Like, oh, it's not like the book at all. And I was like, well, it's not the same. Okay, Eric, Battle Ready, the first book. Excellent. Yeah, I loved the book. I thought it was, okay, the ending was a wee bit cheesy from my perspective, but yeah, great book. That's one of these books that I've read multiple times. It's just a really darn good book. And Eric Harro Bosma says hello to you. So I was an officer at the front and a wartime poet who turned against the war. In 1917, I blamed the government for deliberately prolonging an unnecessary war. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Eh? Okay, so you're with me, Eric Battle Ready, saying that it was a bit cheesy. At risk of court-martial, because of my views, I was diagnosed with shell shock instead. I befriended fellow poet Wilfred Owen in hospital and helped him write his poetry. My gosh, eh? And it's the same thing. I don't know if they met during or it was afterwards. What C.S. Lewis there and what's his diddle there, J.R. Tolkien. I was awarded. Imagine that, eh? They used to go to pubs together. Holy smokes! I was awarded the Military Cross, but claimed to have thrown it into the River Mersey in disgust. And I was nicknamed Mad Jack for my fearless courage at the front. And joker fact, in 1918, a sentry for my company mistook me for a German and shot me in the head. Jesus H. Okay, so that's that. And I've got that one done. And now I've got my little list, and we'll try to go from it one at a time here. Eric Battle Ready, if you're interested in reading any more Heinlein, my suggestion, I'm just throwing this one out, is The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. Wow. What a book. Holy smokes. What a amazing. How the hell that has not been turned into a mini-series or something, I still have no idea to this day, to be honest with you. All right, so we got that one done. Oh yes, Meandering Mike. I do have you on the list here because someone also mentioned it to you as well. That in one of your videos for the comments there, the latest one, I think, you were doing the playthrough of the Santiago campaign, and you had the Habsburg Eclipse and the Sunset Ottoman Sunset game. So, are you going to be doing something there? Read Robert Graves' autobiography, Goodbye to All That. He also has an author and poet highly affected by World War I. Yeah, what do I have? I picked this up at, hold on here. What did I snag? I know I grabbed a Robert, I won't look for it because I'm going to get sidetracked. But I'm pretty sure I picked up a Robert Graves book a little tiny bit. Meandering Mike says, Moon is a harsh mistress is my favorite highlight. Yeah, it is a darn, isn't it? It is son of a bitch. And you know what, Eric Battleready, you know what sucks? I would love to talk to you about the book, but I can't because I don't want to reveal one. I don't want to reveal anything, to be honest with you. It's just a bloody damn good book. Yeah, it's a sweetheart. Okay, so we did that. So anyways, yes, Meander Mike. So what's going on with the Habsburg Eclipse and Sunset, Ottoman Sunset? That would be nice to know. Okay, now we're going to go to the World War I news, which I think I can just straight up present the screen. Yep. And I hope I'm not banging on you guys with, oh yeah, did I see, can you see it? I want to make sure what can you guys see? Nope. Hold on here. Hope we can keep the titles after the live chat so we can look it up later. For certain, oh, hold on here. Why are you not doing this? I just want to see what you got. Okay, so you guys can't see. It's just I couldn't see what. It's not letting me see what you guys can see. I'm just going to get rid of myself. Oops. There. All right. So that didn't really matter. But anyways, you guys can see that. I just wanted to show you what's going on with the World War I news. And you guys, oh, goody. Even though I can't see the full-on thing when I'm scrolling, you guys can. I thought maybe you guys would be interested in this. It's coming up on November 21st. Meandering Mike mentions Pat Barker's Regeneration is another good novel about the World War I era. It is a trilogy, but I've only, whoa. Okay, thanks. My God, we're getting like this is turning into like the book club. This is awesome. And this I think is neat is that he's called Black Jack, and we just had Mad Jack with Secret Sasson. So this is coming up. And remember, all the World War I museum and memorial lectures and whatnot, they're all eventually just going to be put on YouTube. But this one looked really neat too. Come on. And it's already available there. You guys can see that, I hope. Share, nope, there, share this one instead. And it's got the transcript in here, but this looks really, really interesting. I know they didn't, I know that's not what he put in, the guy who did it afterwards. I can't remember. I know he cringed afterwards. The person who did all the propaganda stuff afterwards when, you know, they were getting in and you know, took Jerusalem and all that stuff. They didn't use the "we come as liberators," but he certainly got close to that. So we got, okay, I wanted to show you that. Then here's the other thing I wanted to show you, which just knocked my socks off. I went, you've got to be joking. And I did talk to them, or I made a comment on their post. So the person's like, yeah, no problem. You can say whatever you want or tell anybody. So I'm going to hit it. Hopefully you guys can see this and share this tab instead. So this is a brand new YouTube podcast thing. Harro Bosma says, I did not want to add a piece to end all peace to it. Incredible insight into post-World War I Middle East. Well, so please, you can always elaborate more, eh? Harro Bosma, go nuts, please. So anyways, this is a brand new podcast that came on, just started last week. And I was like, huh? Like at first I was like, when I looked at it, when I got the notification and it said, you know, uploaded something like 7 hours ago, I went, am I reading this right? Like there's going to be a brand new series of podcasts on World War One? I was like, you've got to be joking. Well, no, I'm not joking. There really are. I've only listened to, well, obviously the first one's just the trailer. I've listened to the first one yesterday, and they're fantastic. They're two guys. One's an actual historian, and the other one's I don't know what he is, but they're good. And I've been watching a lot of their other stuff, the Battle Guide, whatnots. I think I've even mentioned that in a previous episode. We were talking about their stuff when they were looking up for Rudyard John Kipling, John Kipling's where he died, what happened to him, that type of thing. Okay, so we got that one done. I'm good, glad. Let's go quickly to the week that was, which is I'm just going to show you my my notes that I was going to start doing, like redoing them. So I just started parsing out which ones that I write them all out. And then I'm like, okay, I put little asterisks for which ones I find rather interesting, kind of thing. And hold on, I've got to go and pick it up. And I was going to start doing it all nice, tight one there. I did like 2 weeks ago, but then I was like, oh God, it's just going to drive me up the tree. So there we go. So you're just going to be looking at my kind of new notes kind of thing, if that makes any sense. I'm sorry, but at least you can see something. All right. And it's kind of jumpy all over the place. And please let me know if it's not really, doesn't really matter anyways. I'm just going to quickly, it's just some of the stuff that I noticed the past 2 weeks, really, from that chronology book. And remember, I was mentioning as well, it's a British-centric book, and I've got to try to remember that and take things with a grain of salt, and also start trying to look for other sources for that type of stuff. Charles Latora says Yeats he's got a video on printing on T-shirts with gel plates. Cool. T-shirts with gel plates. So yeah, the Germans have retreated from Riga. The thing that I found interesting, where it says here with the cooperation of the fleet, and I do know there was some British subs up in the Baltic helping out the Russians there. So I'd like to know, I'd like to find out a little bit more, were the British subs active at this point, at this time? And then there's something going on here in Persia, with the Germans causing a little bit of grief. The Dutch government interned a crew of a German submarine, which I thought was rather interesting. There was a fire at a munitions works at the Bethlehem Steel Company in the United States, which obviously is going to cause some issues. This one I thought was neat when I saw that bit here, was the committee appointed to facilitate trade to Great Britain. And I was wondering, is this the Cornhill Committee? I don't know. I'd like to look that up because it's only mentioned that bit. And, what I found out about the Cornhill Committee on a site, like from something else, from a lecture I was watching. So, and then Asquith announces the strengthening of general staff by more intercommunication with the Allies, which I thought was neat. And there's a German mission to Greece on the 11th of November, and that Lord Derby is basically, they're starting to clue in that there's less and less people volunteering. I'm assuming, like I said, it's an assumption. I'm assuming that there's obviously reports going back saying, well, it's not as romantic as you thought it was, back in August and September of 1914 about joining the army, that type of stuff. And then this is the last little bit here. And also, we hopefully will be talking about this, Harro Bosma, because you were mentioning yet again about the trenches, and it's like, okay, also with the trench warfare and the Live and Let Live system book. I thought, wait a minute. And then they mentioned Labyrinth again. And we had talked about the Labyrinth several episodes ago, but I'm not sure if you were around at the time, Harro Bosma. So I thought, well, if we get around to it, I'll bring it up again. Also, on the 18th of November, the Canadians raided enemy trenches southwest of Messines. And I'm not sure if this is it, but I'm pretty darn sure. I know that I'm not sure if it's this time, though, but I'm leaning towards this. I know there was an extremely successful raid by the Canadians at some point, and it was studied afterwards by the Allies, as in like, holy cow, what can we, learn from this and, continue on with that. Harro Bosma says, I don't think so. There you go. So hopefully we'll get around to it. I can bring it up for you. It doesn't matter, Harro Bosma. You know why? Because we're just going to keep on plugging away at this, week in, week out. And we'll just hammer away at whatever stuff we want to. That's one thing I'm starting to clue into as well. Like if we get to the BGG game of the week, which I hope to get to, even then I was like, Chris, you honestly think you're going to be able to digest all that within 1 week? There's no bloody way. Charles Latora says, cold and damp crawling back under my blankets. Oh my goodness. Yeah, damp, eh? That's the thing that sucks. All right. So I've removed that for now. I can get rid of this. Okay. Now we'll go to the next bit here. Now we're going to show you, and yet again, it's those beautiful little things about also talking with you guys. We always go down, or at least I do. I go down these little garden paths because it's like, oh, this one thing leads to another and leads to another, and off we go. So I'm going to. How do I do this? I'm going to show the picture, or no, let's go to the website. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll go to the website, which is the movie I was watching, that Italian movie I was telling you about. The Uomini contro many wars ago. It's free on YouTube. Loved it because it's subtitles, so I got to listen to the actual Italian, which is fantastic. I thought it was a great movie, and I'm going to present so you guys can see it. What I'm trying to show you here. There. All right, so you can see that. So this movie here, and actually that actor there, I found out later on, you guys may know him from a couple of spaghetti westerns. He was in a Few Dollars More, or Fistful of a Dollar Money, or something like that. Anyway, so this movie, remember, is where I was saying it was also mentioned that I highly recommend it. Great movie. It's got everything that I enjoy about Italian type movie. It's just got the pacing. It's got some weird camera angle effects, but I like it reminds me of the incidental music and whatnot, very similar to like the Italian horror films that I like. The acting is fantastic. Whoever plays that general, the Italian general, is just, I swear to God, like it's like he almost wrote the lines for himself. I just want to watch the movie again just to see some of the scenes, because like when you see, for example, when the general explains to how to also use a bayonet rifle and the knife by, putting the knife between the teeth, and, it just goes, it's just a fantastic movie. And it's also, we'll just continue on if I can find it here. So I'm going to show, and I popped these in the links, Harro Bosma and everybody else. So if you want to go and watch the movie, go for it. There's no worries about that. So I'm going to put that in, and you guys can see this. I think I was showing that before, so you guys can see that. Excellent. So yeah, this is the movie. It's there. It's under film and clips, which you can see that. Okay, so we got that one done. I'm going to go to and it's based on a book by Emilio Lusso. And we'll show you him. There. So Emilio Lusso, that guy there, was, he wrote about his experiences in this thing. I tried to find it's called, the novel is, in English, A Year on the Plateau. Un anno, forget it. I'm not even going to try to say that. But we will talk about that later, about pronunciations, if I ever get to the talking about the lecture that I got to last week. So there we go. And this is a nice little website that I get to show you guys. I'm really happy that I got to see. This is the only bit I could find about the novel. And this person wrote, or has a nice little web page here. This person up here. Marco Noli. So I thought, well, why not show the page here? So there we go. If you guys want to find out a little bit more about that's the actor I was telling you about. That's in some spaghetti westerns. Great, there he is again. Great film. I highly recommend it. So there we go. We got that one done. And which brings me to this, which was why, because remember we were talking about, I think Telemachus was also mentioning it about like maybe what was that weird armor. So it's this here, this, and in the book, in the movie, you do actually see this this armor. We were mentioning it's not, and they call it Fassini armor, but that's not. It's not. There's no such thing as Fassini armor. It's Farina armor. And when I looked up Farina armor afterwards, like I was saying, you get into this nice little, wonderful little trail. I got to, hold on here. Why didn't you do that? Okay, where are you? I wanted the Farino armor. Which brought me to the Campagne della Morte or something. So let's see if I can get you. You guys can see that. So these guys were actually the first people to use that Farina armor. That armor. Well, you're gonna see a picture of it in a minute. Yeah, this stuff here, and it was developed by this guy Fabrizio Farina, and it was. And I guess this is an actual historical stuff. I don't know about the Campagne della Morte, but they use that word or that phrase to describe themselves. And then eventually it became these guys, the Arditi, which I guess maybe you guys know about. I don't know about them. So they eventually become full on these guys here. Members of the Arditi Corps, which were like super Italian stormtrooper types. Gamers with Coffee, morning everyone. Great to see you. I hope you're having a good morning. We're just taking a look at some stuff. And here we go. And here's the Arditi knife fighters again. And it's also yet again partially Harro Bosma alluding to you about trench warfare and the book. You're not going to show that, you son of a bee. Oh, well, it's not the Meandering Mike says greetings. So what am I saying about this, members of the Arditi Corps and whatnot? I think yet again, this has also got to do reading up about the live and let live system and all that the higher command and for all sides damn well knew that there was this live and let live system going on off and on along the trenches, and they were trying to figure out more and more ways of, forcing people to fight, forcing aggression, essentially. And one of the things was to start getting these elite troops, you know what I mean, that were like, that got off on that. There's another thing we'll talk about, hopefully at some point, which is the thrusters. I don't know if you guys have heard about them, but they let's go to the BGG Game of the Week. Now, Harro Bosma, you're gonna have to help us out with this, because I was like, if you're not around, I'm not going to show it. But I know that you said you have this game on the Strastrup. Maybe Harro Bosma. I know that like, for example, these guys, the Arditi, that was their own the Italian version of their stormtrooper aggress. So maybe they were they were on the wrong side compared to the Germans, but it must have been their counterpart version of it. All right, so we're going to go to here. You guys can see that. So this is the game that you were that you've got on pre-order or whatever. You put money towards, didn't you, Harro Bosma? So, like I said, I don't have a flipping clue about this game, but I was thinking, well, you seem interested into it. So let's take a look. See what it looks like very quickly. Why not? So if you get, oh yes, indeed, Harro Bosma says, oh, I like the dice. So if you want to type in anything you want to know, I don't want to put you on the spot or whatever, but Like, if you want to know, like, tell us why you're interested or whatever. Thanks to Clark Commando 83. Oh, is that how you ended up finding out about it? Interesting. Wow, it comes in like a jeepers jumping. That's impressive. And it is an epic game series that simulates the most famous battles of Napoleon on a tactical scale. Whoa. The designer used to be the publisher. And what it's kind of, is that, by the way, is that Ridley Scott movie out yet? That would be kind of I mean, talk about good timing. Ooh. I like I like the look of the maps. I don't know what you guys think. We're back to that again. We'll go the other way. Gamers of Coffee, cool dice. Looks like a lot of game. I know. That's what I was thinking too. You want to see a lot of game? Has Italian Arditi and Wonder? Really? Whoa, that I did not expect to hear. Thanks, Meandering Mike, for mentioning that. Holy shoot. I like this. Wouldn't you just want to use that just for anything? What about you guys? All right. Okay, so that's it. If that's all we're going to show about here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop on the next game that if you weren't around, Harro Bosma, I was going to show, but I might as well just show it anyways. We're not too bad for time. Is this game. And that was, like I was saying, okay, you guys can see it. Excellent. Remember I was saying I was just doing like I like doing the random World War I game of the week so I can find out more about what games are out there and maybe you guys have played them or so on and so forth, and away you go. So this is the game I picked. I selected Twilight of the Ottomans, World War I in the Middle East. I will say this, and let's go to the images very quickly. I did download the rules, so maybe we can take a look at it at that point, at some point. I'm really surprised. If anybody has played this, please let me know. Based on the size of the rules, and wait till you see what's in the rule. That's a vassal thing, because I was like, Jesus Christ, that's just god awful ugly. But there seems to be an awful lot of game in this magazine game. Like, what in the world is going on here? It seems very comprehensive, maybe a bit ambitious. I don't know. But I would like to take a look also at some of the forum questions or things that people have posted, what I was looking at, because I thought, oh, that brings in a bit of interesting stuff. And then I would like to very quickly go over the rules. And if you guys spot anything, go, hey, that seems weird, or, yep, that seems, that type of thing. But Harro Bosma says, there's also a game from S&T with the same system on the Western Front. It really? Okay, well, Harro Bosma, if you can let me know, I'd like to find out about it. Hold on, maybe it'll say it on the thing here. It's based on something or other. Kaiser's War, I believe. Thanks. Let's see. I mean, okay, this is me being judgmental, but when I saw Twilight of the Ottomans, and then when I saw Toto for short, that kind of, I was like, stop being cute. I was like, I don't want to call my game Toto. I was like, no, I'm not doing that, man. So it would be interesting to take a look, Harro Bosma. We're going to look at the rules in a minute, but I want to look at some of the forum stuff. Please, like I said, if things don't look or pop up nicely, let me know. So fortifications review. So this guy thought it was a gem. He really liked it. Like I said, I thought it was rather, when we take a look at the rules and whatnot, I think you're going to, at least I thought, I was like, geez, this looks awfully ambitious. But I'm really intrigued. I'd like to, well, I've got the rules. I mean, anybody can grab the rules. They're available on the Decision Games website. Bless their soul for that. And this guy, Paul Taylor, he's posts a lot here, and he's critical of the game. And he seems to know his stuff. So I'm not going to, he probably knows more about this stuff than I do. So I'm not going to whatever. But he can get into it a bit here. Let's go back to the forums. So let's find out with Paul Taylor says. There. So yeah, so here's where he trashes it a little bit. I don't know if that's really going to have an impact, this bit here, if, it's just like, okay, the map scale's wrong, but if it's not going to do anything wacky. Eric Battleready says, any good games that mixes World War I and sci-fi people would recommend. That would be interesting. I wonder if there's like some maybe steampunkish oriented stuff. Maybe Eric Battleready. Daniel Mike says, there's a sergeant of war gamers that loves to refer to games by acronym. Oh, a segment of war gamers, sorry. That loves to refer to games by acronym. Well, I'm not into the Toto. I can tell you that much. Jeepers jumping. So yeah, he goes on to a bit here. That was, yeah, we're going to take a look at, like I said, the rules. It's this VPs. So that's where he says, it basically TIT. Oh my gosh. Mary, Mike, you're just reminding me of an episode from Doctor Who, classic Doctor Who, when the Master mentioned names with an acronym this device that can screw around with time travel, and he calls it the Tom Tit. I thought, and the Doctor just gets pissed. Anyways, that's a sidetrack. Oh, you guys are just driving me nuts now with acronyms. Thunder Knee. Okay, now I'm getting you. So anyways, yeah, I wanted to take, here's the game scale again. So let's go to the rules. And I had to pop the rules in my Google Drive. Hopefully this will work. We'll see. And then we'll just quickly take a look at the rules. Right. You guys can see that. Yes, excellent. And I'll pump it up a little bit. Oops. And we're just done. Like I said, if you guys see something or like, hey, it's going too quick or whatever, let me know. But let's take a look at all the stuff that's in the contents, man. That is a lot of stuff for a magazine game. At least I think so. Jeepers jumping. Wait till you see all the abbreviations for the units too. There's a lot of stuff there, man. Look at all this. Jeepers jumping. That's an awful lot of stuff to think about. At least I think so. For maybe you guys don't. Maybe you guys are thinking, oh, this is normal for a magazine game. But geez. And there's the thing: is victory points are given, and that's the. It seems like from what I've been reading so far, is the victory points are what a player would use to rebuild units, purchase new units, that type of stuff. There's also a psychological warfare phase, random events. There's like I said, there's an awful lot of stuff here. Now, what I did want to find, and this is the one that I found really, I just don't understand, is push. There's two combat results tables. Like I said, I'm just quickly going through this, and if we want to continue maybe next week, look in a bit more at this game or whatever, like, please let me know what you guys want to do too. Is this big push CRT? I was like, well, how do I know, like, what the heck is, what are these things here? I'm just going to reduce it. There we go. So there's that one. Let's find the next one. It's the number 12 one I wanted to find. There it is. Combat is always always voluntary. Attacking units must be immediately adjacent to the defending units, blah, blah, blah. There are two different combat results tables, Raid and Big Push, both of which are printed on the map sheet. I was like, whoa, that, when can I use Raid and when can I use Big Push? And what are the differences? Look at all this too. This is the combat result. If you guys are used to this type of stuff, I'm naive compared to you guys. So like, I don't know if this is normal, like to see BB, Bloodbath, and all these different type of whatevers. But there just seems to me to be an awful lot of game in this magazine game. And like I said, I don't know if if it's a half decent game or if they're trying to do too much. And you know what I mean? You're what do they say? Jack of all trades, but master of nothing kind of thing. Mike, I'm new to this type of gaming, but I like it. Right on. Same as me. But the only thing I would wish they would have done here is for the CRT is at the end they would have put in could you have put in that stuff that we saw up there, like BB for bloodbath and whatnot? But that's the difference. So I don't know what the difference between raid and big push and why you're allowed to use one or the other. So that's that. Okay, so now we're going to go to, I hope, the notes from the editor. And we're going to have to present the screen for a second here. I'm going to have to bring in a picture. And I'm going to show the front cover. Yep. And I'm going to show you this because when I was, I got my latest issue. It's my first issue of World War I Illustrated. And that's from the World War I Association, which I just recently joined. And that was the lecture that I attended last week. So here's the front cover. And now I want to go and show you the inside cover, which is the note from the editor, because they more or less asked me to show it to you at the end here, because it says right there, but we need to grow. Share your copy of the journal or the renewal insert with friends and ask them to join the association too. So I am, and it's there we go. And now I'm going to show you the little bit, and hopefully I can quickly talk about no, I'm going to have to show you the, hold on. Stop sharing. There we go. And then I'm going to grab the link, which is there. I'll put you here. And okay, and you're there. So here's their homepage. So this was the. So you got, like I said, it's in the links. So this, and I just found out when I was attending the lecture last week, there's one every month. So I get to go to this lecture every month and be able to report back to you guys. This is going to be freaking awesome. So here we go. And then I'm going to show you and this is from, all right. I pop that in. And, aha! So there we go. So this was like I said, this was the lecture that I attended last week, which was awesome. It was really neat to, to be, I will say this. I did actually kind of interact a little bit. I'll put myself in a little bit. Can I do that? There we go. I did kind of interact a little bit. I mean, obviously, I felt intimidated. I'm in a lecture with a bunch of, historians and Lord knows what. So, I mean, these people were like talking about, what's your next book? That type of stuff. But I will say this. I was super duper ultra happy. At one point, they're talking away and they're like, oh, yeah, do you remember? Like, yeah, but what about that Croat general? And my ears picked up immediately. I was like, my brain was screaming it out. Brejevich, Smedar Brejevich, just over and over and over again. And I put it in the comments because nobody got it. But they were like, oh, yeah, you remember that guy that was up and did this and then, brought back down to the Italian front? I'm like, Brejevich. I'm like, hey, I was like, at least I got one thing. That was great. So I'll tell you what I did, what I found out quickly about this, the meeting or the lecture, which you can see up here, which was the Eastern Front and its relationship with the Western and Italian fronts. A couple of eye-openers, and I did mention it last week to Meandering Mike on a side note, that was a game. One of the things was definitely gaming related, and that was how important aerial reconnaissance was in the Eastern Front, especially they were saying for the Austro-Germans in the Gorlitza-Tarnów breakthrough. and he said they had over 100 airplanes there. So I'm going to look that up again. I'd really like to find that out. What else did that they mentioned in the lecture that I'm trying to think of? Actually, that more people died in the 3 months in that Carpathian, the initial Carpathian Austro-Hungarian attack there. More people died in that 3 month period than in Verdun and the Somme combined. I was like, holy Jesus! And I think most of them from freezing to death and whatnot. Just shocking. What else did he mention? During the Brusilov offensive, the Russians started with a 5-1 numerical advantage. Holy smokes. There's also a thing, I'm going to have to look it up at some point. There was something called the punishment offensive that the Austro-Hungarians did against the Italians. So I don't know if that was a lead up to Caporetto or whatnot. I don't know. They also, he mentioned that they often use the aerial reconnaissance to come back and use it to set up practice trenches and whatnot, so that way they could practice the troops before going in. And it was neat too, because one of the people attending the lecture had mentioned, that's why I wanted to also talk about the comparison between the Eastern Front and Western Front, at least to start getting our brains, or at least my brain, into thinking about all the implications about what this means. Like for a game, strategically, whatever, about like how to move troops back and forth, what it would mean about the same amount of troops represented in the Western Front to the Eastern Front because of the lengths of the front. I'm getting sidetracked as per flipping usual. What else did he? Yeah, he mentioned that 200 kilometers seems to be about the logistical extent back in World War I times, and this kind of makes sense. Gamers with Coffee Ashley, great to see you, by the way. I was wondering where my husband was and found him here. Well, yep, there you go. Harro Bosma is chuckling about that. So he was saying about 200 kilometers seems to be about the logistical extent, and then after that you have to wait for, to bring things up. That kind of makes it feel good in, I think, for Der Weltkrieg, in that, as you know, each hex is 20 kilometers long. And for supply purposes, Der Weltkrieg has it, for an offense, for counter attacks, 8 hexes. So that's about 160 kilometers. So, I think that's not too bad. That he's pretty close. And yet again, it's hammering home into my head about, I've got to get my arse back to watching more of the Rob Thompson lectures, especially in regards to railheads and how far they were able to go from railheads, and so on and so forth. The difference between a lot of stuff to find out about. Okay, now let's go to the Eastern comparison versus Western comparison. I hope. I'm going to stop the screen. I think I'm doing it okay in my little whatever. Yes, I'm actually doing not too bad. Okay, so we're going to present. I got to get a picture again, though. Where are you? Let's go to the Eastern Front pick first. All right. Window. Now, this obviously is a screenshot, and it's just trying to give you an idea of the difference. So I measured from here all the way down to here, all the way down to Cernowitz. So you can see my dinky little arrow. And it's about 87 hexes, which comes out to, and I'll show you the little whatever, about 1,740 kilometers. Now let's go to the Western one, if I can find it. There. And I know different whatevers. I mean, and like I said, so this one is only 13 I better 37 kilometers, 37 hexes, sorry. And that comes out to about 740 kilometers. Now, what does this mean? Means roughly that the Eastern Front is about 2.35 times longer than the Western Front. So I was trying to figure out, okay, what does this mean relative wise for strength points and so on and so forth? Let's go to the nice big Eastern one. It looks, I think it gives a bit more of an impact. There we go. This big giant one here. So let's say I wanted to put 200 strength points, or anybody wanted to put, you've got 200 strength points and you want to equally divide them in each hex along each one. It would come out to, you would get about 2.3 strength points per hex along the Eastern Front if you wanted to do it that way. And you would get 5.4, I think. Boy, I'm doing pretty good because this is all from my head. 5.4, of course, unless I'm getting the numbers wrong. 5.4 strength points per hex in the Western Front. So yet again, what would that mean to if I wanted to get the 5.4 represented into the Eastern Front? I think I would have to bring in something like a 417 strength points. I've got it written down, but it's like 115 more, something like that. It's significant. And I would need a like hardly any, actually, we can go and look it up. I've got the numbers here. I should have. Oh, I thought I had, did I not? No, Western Front. Maybe I did. I called it something else. Yeah, it looks like I thought I had popped in a nice little picture of it. Oh, well. No, I presented the bloody thing. Hold on. Let's see if I can do that. Present a slide, and it's this one. And present. All right. And can I do it? Screw that. Then I'm not going to do it if it's not going to let me. I know it's not the same, but what I was trying to take a look at is for relative purposes and strategically is what I'm trying to say is I'm more thinking, look, do you honestly, it just seems to me like a better chance of having a breakthrough, on the Eastern Front than on the Western Front if you're going to play in the long term. And I understand it's you're not able to move troops as quickly. Oh, there was the other thing about on the lectures that he was mentioning was that along in the Eastern Front that German troops were able to move a corps around within roughly within a week, versus the Russians were took nearly a month. So I was like, holy smokes, that's quite significant. Oh yeah, let's go and take a look at. So I've stopped that screen there. Oh my God, 8 minutes left. I'm not even close to talking about the other stuff I wanted to talk to. Remember, I did want to say that I wanted to still chit chat with you guys about what would happen if the German high seas fleet vanished, disappeared magically at the start of World War I. What would that have meant? And lucky for me, I found, if I can find it, the high seas fleet is this thing here. And I got a long way to go to find out. Like, there's so many people out here that know so much more. It's not funny. Okay, so we're going to present this. Boink, boink. All right, so you can see this. Excellent. So this thing is just like what would have happened if Germany's battleships had prevailed. And yet again, it's also alluding again with Telemachus and William Arends mentioning, they were both of you guys were saying that, well, it probably would mean that there would be an increased presence, British naval presence in the Mediterranean, and maybe they could do another crack at the Dardanelles with all their extra ships. And at this time, or just remember, I think I was mentioning this a little bit, we were talking about a little bit before, was that Kitchener actually was considering doing a second round or trying to see if they could hammer again at the Dardanelles. But this was going to get, but he ended up actually showing up in Gallipoli and whatnot and was like, okay, he saw the situation, was like, okay, this is a nightmare. But anyways, in here, they do talk a bit more about the possibility of what could have happened. From this article, it seems to me, from what I've been, and it's also yet again confirming a little bit of what Meandering Mike was mentioning, was that actually the British would be in a hell of a lot worse shape if the Germans had succeeded or done a lot better during the Battle of Jutland or whatever. I just thought that was rather neat to more things to find out about it. That's for bloody sure. Okay, so we got that done. I do want to bring this guy up again, because this would be something, and it's partial. Oh yeah, the labyrinth thing, Harro Bosma. And these are in the lists, in the sources and links, so you can certainly go and take a look yourself. All right, and you can see that one. So this is one that Harro Bosma you didn't see, but this was we looked at this a few months ago, and it's difficult for me to find some stuff about the labyrinth. But if you do have some stereoscopic glasses, I was able to print these out, and I looked at them with my stereoscopic glasses and had my mind blown away. So that was really, really fun to take a look at. And yet again, I'm going to bring you this one because this is an important website. There, and it's also yet again, so you can see this. This is we've mentioned this person. Where is he? This guy here. You can see here off to the little. He's got the crest on the brown or on his dark jacket there. He's to the left of the German dude, 193 or 123 dude. Now he's the owner of the creator of the museum. I so wish to go to this someday. It is not flippin' funny. He's been mentioned many times in the Great War YouTube channel, and also Harro Bosma. If you want to have a good tour, and anybody else, you want to have a good tour of some of the bunkers and whatnots, go to this guy's thing, maybe via the Great War channel. But I'll also give you his other. This is his YouTube channel, and like I said, it's in the sources and links. You can go there and take a look. So there's his YouTube channel. Just really good stuff. But you can rent his little cottage or whatnot that's up there for like a week or longer, I guess. And I'd love to do that. Just rent that spot and then just go and visit a bunch of war sites and so on and so forth. I think that would just be fantastic. Here's another one I thought maybe you guys would be neat to take a look at. Trench-wise, gosh, we're doing terrible for time. Nice. I visited Verdun and Le Pierre. Verdun was very impressive and depressing. Yeah, I can imagine. Oh, and thank you after I just did something about pronunciations. I don't know if you guys are interested, but one thing I did find rather enjoyable. So here's another one, which I thought was a kind of a neat, nice little, oh, wait, you silly bugger. Was a nice little website to take a look at later. I've just very quickly looked at it, but I thought, boy, this would be a little bit longer to take a look at. Is it was refreshing to hear some of the historians butcher pronunciations of words. It was awesome. So it made me feel good. And all I reminded me of was to try to be consistent with my butchering, as in stick with one butchering of a whatever. And to also, I wanted to mention it to you guys. So if you guys ever feel, doesn't mean I'm saying you should, throw caution to the wind with pronunciations, but I'm not going to feel so freaked out anymore. And I was like, oh, I want to let you guys know about that as well, that, other people do some whatever. Is there any much more else I can chit-chat? Oh, yes. This I thought maybe you guys would be interested in knowing about. they final. Well, I should say it's the final. You guys can see that. View this. Can you see that? Yes, you can. So I found out this week from the YouTube notification that Global War 1914, they finalized, this is their final release of the rules if you want to go buy the game now. But they said that they're, will update the rules, whatever. If you're interested, I'm just going to read, well, I downloaded the rules and I'm going to go and read them and see what I can pilfer, for crying out loud. Anything else I can that I can quickly chat about because we're finished wise? Nope. I'm going to stop the screen and I'm going to put down what I did say at the very end of this little book, which is please think about some future topics that you guys would like to bring up, or you guys want me to take a look at. Any ideas, for goodness sakes? Telemachus says, saying a word in your language does not really constitute butchering. People just think it is. Yes, absolutely. Mini Warmut, oh man, I just arrived. It doesn't matter. Great to see you anyways, man. So please, you know what I mean? If you guys were like, hey, I would like to find out a little bit more about this or that or the other thing, I think it would be awesome. And Mini Warmut says, good morning to all, and you too, sir. I will be starting to work on this a little bit more because I am, getting off into getting ready to do my game that way. I would like to, a couple things I would like to take a look at maybe next week, because that's one thing I would like to do is starting Sunday, for example, for me, is to finalize the topics that I want to talk about with you guys next week. So that way it's not so I want to get to a certain point at which I up my game a little bit more. Like I've always said, I want to constantly, I want to not just be entertaining, but I want to also, be informative and so on and so forth. I wanted to go and take a look at the SPI resources page. I thought, Eric, thank you, man. It's really nice that you're saying it's fun. That this is fun. Thank you. I want to take a look at the SPI resources page. I'm just absolutely blown away that I'm able to download, I guess, every single rule book there. The person has a ton of, there's also like several pages of like PDFs of offensive tactics, basic type of stuff. And for me, that's relatively getting back into hex and counter or whatever. It's going to really help me out with basic strat, type of thinking stuff. So anyway, I listen to or watch, playthroughs of Meandering Mike or Charles Latora's stuff. And I'm just like, the way they just talk about, what they're going on. I'm just like, I just realized their level of knowledge about tactics and whatnot are like, holy cow. It's from, I understand it's from practice. They've been playing way more games than I have. That's it, guys. It's 2 minutes after 11. I think it went not too bad. Yes, it is, Meandering Mike. That SPI site is amazing. I don't know how the hell I found it. I'm glad I found it. And it's, like I said, I'd love to go and take a look at it next week. It is a dandy, and obviously take a look at some of the World War I stuff. I'm going to go and take a look at that Ottoman thingamajig. I want to take a look at this weird double two CRT things. I like the idea of that concept to get again, and maybe also mention. Sounds a little bit like the Fatal Alliances thing with that their offensives. Like I said, these are things I need to learn more about. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Hope you guys have a wicked day, a wicked weekend, and I'll get cracking on for next week. And don't forget to take a look at the sources and links if you want to go and find out some more stuff. Thanks, guys. Awesome. Bye.